Um, Hello, I guess. This is just a little project that I kind of wanted to run between myself. It's going to sound really cringy on the other end of it, but like, I kind of just wanted to start a podcast just to talk. Like, I'll probably end up doing this with, excuse me, with other people, but just for the start, just as a kind of a pilot thing, I thought it'd be best if I just kind of talked. So, hello, I guess. My name's Patrick Kenny. I'm 17 years old. And this is whatever the fuck I decide to call this, I guess. Yeah, it's weird. I suppose I should start by just talking a bit about myself. And, yeah. So, I'm 17. I'm from Ireland. I'm a huge fan of rugby and acting and games, computer stuff. That's kind of my passion. I've always been really interested in computers and games, really. Um, what else is there to say? Like, I'm tall. I play rugby. I play rugby for my local town. Um, it's harder than I thought it would be. Um, Fuck, I hope this is still recording. Um, oh yeah, we're a minute and a half in. Cool. And I think I just picked my mic. Great. Um, so yeah, I play rugby with my local town. I'm an actor in my local youth theatre. I've been in 10 plays, is it now? It's a lot. Like, big music fan as well. Actually, I manage quotation marks a band, and I listen to a lot of it sounds stupid 80s punk rock. um, Punk rock of all things. From if you saw me, basically I have the music taste of like a teenager going through a phase in the 80s. Teenage girl at that. Big fan of Green Day, Arctic Monkeys, The Stripes, Blink 182, bit of Paramore, and U2. I was raised on U2. So I suppose I can thank my dad for all that, I suppose. God, this is really weird talking. I suppose the music in the background is distracting. I'm in fifth year in school. Sorry, just Snapchatting in the background. Hey. Oh, not the voice crack, no. The my friends. Um, Quotation marks yet again. Suppose should talk about. I suppose the acting would probably be the biggest thing that I'm involved in. I really, really, really enjoy it. We do pantos every year, so I have three pantos under my belt, two on stage, one of them in a very minor role, the other as one of the lead characters. And then I have one as part of the backstage crew, which no one seems to know actually exists, but if you're in theatre, you know that they're actually kind of vital. Um, what else? I've been in a number of actual plays as well, not just pantos. If I look around here, I have Frank Pig Says Hello on my right, which was probably the best production I've ever been involved in. Frank Pig, I suppose it was a really hard time for me in my life. I was just going through a lot, and we had a professional director, Niall Cleary was his name, come down from Cork, um, and just meeting him for the first time, he was such a really, really kind man. And then I met James Quinn. James Quinn being probably one of my best friends today. He was in the youth group when I was in it, but he wasn't in. Frank Pig took place after my first panto, which was Robin Hood, and James was taking a year out of BYT at the time to focus on his junior cert. And then I met him during Frank Pig, where he played the title character and I played his father, which led to a lot of funny moments. But yeah, from there we just became really, really close friends. There'll just be random times now of a weekend where I'll get a text or probably be woken up by the phone ringing if it's been a particularly rough night the night before. Patter, do you want to come into town for a coffee or something? And then what'll happen is we'll walk around town for about good 5-6 hours and talk about people we hate, people we like, random news that we have, just a day out really. But yeah, it's such an amazing fella, and I suppose Frank Pig, it was my first major role in theatre. It was the third thing that I'd done, because I had done a small little production called Hear Me, which was a little production that we wrote ourselves and performed in schools. And performing that in my own school was quite an experience, to say the least. It was actually awful. But, yeah, I suppose, yeah, Frank Pig was brilliant. Frank Pig was unbelievable. It was heralded, and I don't mean to actually... I'm sitting in front of my computer right now, so I can look it up. You'll have to excuse my loud keyboard. I bought it for an exorbitant amount of money because I like the clicky sound it makes. It was heralded as one of the best shows that ever went on in our local theatre, which was amazing to us, because, you know, we're only a youth group. Like, the oldest person in that production was 17, I think, actually. We had a really, really young cast for that. No, we had an 18-year-old, one of the women who had just done her leaving cert, who is now a leader, I think, sort of. She's kind of in and out because she's in college. But, yeah, that experience really helped me fall in love with theatre. I got a real taste of it, and I got to play a real part, an actual person, which again was something that I hadn't really done before, because Hear Me, I was playing myself, and that was boring, really, because it was very, very short, and well, the panto, I was playing the role of a guard, so I had like 4 lines, but I got to spray the audience with water, which was actually really, really fun, especially when there was people there that I knew. And there was, oh jeez, that's a story for another time now. Some of the people that went to that panto, I don't know if I can even say that because it's kind of mean. Then, after that, the year after Frank Pig, we had A Coming of Age. Probably my least favourite production that I've done. It's nothing against the production, it's just, you know, it was a 2016 play for the centenary of the Rising, the Easter Rising, those of you not from Ireland. And by that point, like by summer, just 1916 was everywhere, and it was so boring to listen to. It was just anything, any bit of anything on the news, celebrations, anything. It was something to do with the Rising. And I understand that it's a very key part of our history, but there's an oversaturation to that too. That's a big word, oversaturation. Might put that in my English essay. What else is here in my room? Poster of Conor McGregor, because it is mandatory if you're from Ireland to like Conor McGregor. Nirvana posters from when I went through my even more goth teenage girl phase, although I still do listen to Nirvana a lot. Blink 182, they're good. I like Blink. Blink are good. The flags. This is a bit more of a recent story. We were, you see, whenever Conor McGregor, the aforementioned Conor McGregor, is fighting, and he fights, UFC or boxing or otherwise, I'd always have some of my friends around to the house, the lads, like, you know, and we'd have a night, and once my mum went to sleep, we'd have a few pints or cans or whatever was to hand on the night, you know yourself. So McGregor Mayweather was recently, the big one, of course. He had to be living under a rock to not realize that it was going on. And yeah, so what happened was the band Painted Skies that I manage in Brother Commas were playing out in a little town just outside my town called Ballymahan. So me and 3 or 4 other lads went there, and then there was about 5 or 6 lads who stayed in town drinking. They were in our Longford town, and then they said they'd come up to the house later. And well, long story short, they broke into my local Gaelic grounds, and I have two. Actually, hold on, I'll go pick these up. Great thing about having long wires on your headset is that you can walk around. Yeah, they're sideline flags, I think. Yeah, they're sideline flags. They took 2 sideline flags, which is probably robbery, and I really shouldn't have these in my house, but I don't think anyone's going to come looking for them now if they haven't already, considering most of the county finals are already over. What else is there to talk about? My computer, my pride and joy, my pride and joy, my little. I love my computer. I built it when I was 15, and yeah, I was just. I remember getting the idea because actually I just saw a random game, Titanfall, I think it was, and my PC wasn't able to run it. And I'd always heard people talking about building PCs, so I just thought, yeah, I'll do that, like. And then I saw the price tag, and then I went away from wanting to build my own computer for a few months. But I was always kind of on to Dad about it, and we again, excuse my clicky keyboard. So yeah, just I started looking up YouTube videos. Well, I say looking up YouTube videos. I looked up one and then decided, yeah, I'll do that. And I really actually bought stuff I shouldn't have bought. Like, it all works, and it still does. I've only changed one thing since getting it, but I probably could have gotten a lot more bang for my buck with the amount that I paid. But that's my own fault, and I'll know for again. I've only changed one part in the whole computer, and that is, for anyone who's even vaguely technically efficient, the graphics card, because I wanted to do VR. It was actually the real reason. VR, for those of you again who don't know, is virtual reality. Most people think, sure, you only need your phone for that. I decided, again, as I usually foolishly do, that I wanted a really expensive one, because that had to be class, right? And I actually looked up YouTube videos for this, and it looked amazing. And then I did some tests on my computer and realized that there was not a hope in hell that I was going to be able to run this. So I decided that I was going to make it run, because I had to have it now that I had the idea in my head, as is common with me. So yeah, I got the graphics card because I was in transition year at the time, which was, God, take me back to transition year, please. It was great. I was refereeing kids' soccer matches at a weekend just to get money, which sounds, well, I suppose kind of sad, but it was the only sort of income, I suppose, that I could get. Excuse me. Yeah, it was the only money that I could get. Like, that being said, it's handy money. It's like 20 quid for an hour's work, which you cannot turn your nose up at if you are a student and are severely lacking in money, because, well, yeah, that's a godsend. It's a lot of money. It's 60. You could get 60 quid in a weekend, like, and that'll. Well, as a secondary school student, that'll do you for the week, like, because you're really not going to need much more than that. And I should really mute my phone, because that's going to be really annoying in the background. Yeah, so I got that and set it up, and it didn't work. And then had to go to meetings or something, and then set it up, and it did work, and that was fantastic. And I haven't used it as much as I should be using it, considering how much money. It's the HTC Vive, for those of you who know what VR headsets are like, that's a lot of money, plus the graphics card, which is the... Actually, if I decide to continue to do this, I'll just dedicate a whole episode of it to my computer, because I love my computer. It's my little baby, Betsy, or whatever I decide to call her. What else have I been doing? Fantasy football. Fantasy American football has been some level of entertainment for me and some of my friends, 10 of my friends, over the last few months. We've been going through the American football on the NFL website, and it's done really well there, in the sense that it's not just it's not the total amount of points that you get. It's the it's done on a week per week basis. So whoever the total of amount of points that your team gets in a week is put up against the total amount of points that another team gets in a week, and then whoever has the most points wins, and then it's done on a table. So I am currently 1 win and 2 losses in week 4. So our last game, it's Monday now, I should specify. So there's going to be one match on tonight, and I am up by 4 points, but all my team have played. And the fella I'm playing against, Connor Walton, is his name. He's 2-1, 2 wins, 1 loss, ranked 3rd, and he has 76 points. I have 80, so I'm up by 4. But he has 1 wide receiver left to play tonight. And for those of you who know American football, it's Tyreek Hill of the Kansas City Chiefs, so I'm almost certainly losing. Although he got a load of points week 1. He got nothing in week 2. He got a lot in week 3. I'm hoping that he just bombs this week and does absolutely awful, because I really don't want to lose again. I lost against Adam Farrell, who's probably one of my closest friends, and that hurt. That loss, taking that loss, really, really, really hurt, because what had happened was I was winning all over the weekend, but for some reason Farrell had so many players playing on the Monday Night Football, and I don't know how he managed it, but he did. And I remember waking up Monday morning just to a message from that smug bastard. Oh, I won, lol. And it hurt. It hurt, because the amount of trash talking that we did that week, that whole week building up to that match, the amount of shit we talked to each other was just... it was on another level. Like, it was just... we said some really mean things to each other. Not obviously meaning it, but... it broke me. It broke me to lose against him. So, yeah, the next time I'll play him is in... It'll be in week 10. So I don't have him for another little while yet. Who am I playing next week, actually? I'm playing Daniel Maluli. And, I'm losing that game. Great, right. Okay, right, that's gonna be an interesting loss to take, because 3 of my players won't be playing that week, so I'm gonna have to... Yeah, I'm gonna have to really scrub up my team. Well. I'll figure that out at some point. Let's see, is there anything... no, nothing interesting on Twitter. Great, no fun tweets. October 2nd, yes, we've woken up Billy, Joe, the mandatory Green Day joke. Actually, I saw something quite funny yesterday, which was Billy Joe said in an interview once that he was going to change "Wake Me Up to September Ends," the name of "Wake Me Up to September Ends," to "Shut the Fuck Up When October Comes," which I found hilarious. Um, that's just rugby train. Yeah. Oh yeah, he said it. I just found that hilarious. I suppose I could talk about rugby. I used to be a soccer player. I used to play in the forwards, and then I played in goals. Um, yeah, goals is not a fun time. Goals was horrible actually because the abuse I used to get for playing in goals. I suppose any goalkeeper would get it. Just the abuse we got is awful. We get blamed for everything. Um, um, yeah, that wasn't fun. So I kind of, there in 2014, I moved on to rugby. And that was a great decision. No, 2015 actually, 2015-16. And that was probably one of the best decisions I've made. I play second row because I'm tall. Um, yeah, and since I started there, I've never looked back. It's been just amazing. I love it. I suppose one of the best moments I've ever had was when we went to France. The rugby team, our our under 16 team at the time, and then the under 17s, which I now play for because our under 16 team was brought down. So now I play under 18s with that team. Yeah, we went over, and the first night was tame enough. The first night we had like maybe a can each or something. You know, this is at the point where I wasn't drinking. Well, I say I wasn't drinking. I wasn't actually drinking, but then day two, we were. What were we at? We had a match. Yeah, we had. That was the day we played against the French teams, who I think we bet all of them bar one, and we thought it was a tournament and everything. It just turned out to be a set of friendlies, and then we ended up having dinner with the mayor of the town, and we had to be all official and everything, and it was a really weird experience because we ended up having to dance their local dances. And if you've ever seen these local dances, you're all in a circle facing outward, and you link up by your pinkies. So you're all like linked together, but you're using your pinkies to grab onto each other, and then you just move your arms in a circle, and it's really, really weird, and move around clockwise. So yeah, we ended up having to do that because at this point we'd had a few drinks into us, and we were, well, middling. Let's put it like that. And then the Sunday came. We were paintballing that day, and then that night we went out and got absolutely fucking hammered. And that was my first time drinking. I should point out that was my first time actually drinking. Dad gave me money and said, "Go, just don't buy spirits. Don't buy spirits. That's all you need to do. Don't buy spirits." So I went and had a pint of cider, a pint of lager, a pint of a different cider, bottle of Desperados, an ale, a shot of whiskey. Again, don't buy spirits. First thing you do, buy spirits, and a shot of vodka. So I was steamers drunk. Like I was falling about the place, and I just remember one of the best things that I remember was we got off the bus, and I was there, like I was hardly able to walk straight, let alone talk or anything. So I was just walking. I was like, "Please, just walk straight. Just don't make a show of yourself in front of your old fella." And I said, "Oh yeah, I'll walk straight. This is great." But actually, the way I was walking was, you ever get, when you're just walking straight. Well, you should be walking in a straight line. You're looking straight ahead and everything's grand, but you're just veering off to the right. So I was stumbling about the place anyway. I ran up to the room. I grabbed money. And then a group of about 20 of us ran down to the local McDonald's, which was closed at the time. but they still had the drive-through open. So there's a picture somewhere, I must find it, of the 20 of us in this big line outside the McDonald's drive-through, trying to tell, because I didn't speak English, trying to tell them what kind of food we wanted. And us, and we were all pissed at this stage. And I remember one of the lads that I was on the trip with us, Sean McManus and Joe Sweeney, I think his name was. Basically, they had a knack and a vodka to themselves, and what they did was they oh they they were in the room anyway, and one of the managers or leaders in the team walks in and says, "Lads, have you been drinking spirits? Have you?" "Oh no, not definitely not, man. No way, no way." Of course, the manager didn't. If the manager had turned around, he would have seen that there was a bottle. The naggin was just sitting there empty on top of the television, and the boys absolutely falling about the place. No, they were on the bed at this stage. They were just hardly able to move. It was just. I'll never forget France. Suppose that's kind of a good intro. I don't really want to go on for an hour. If I was doing proper episodes, I'd probably go on for an hour. But considering I'm only starting, we'll call it, what are we, 26:30. Suppose what else could I talk about? Oh, I didn't mention DNA. DNA was another production that we were in recently, with our backstage theatre group, youth theatre, not youth theatre group. DNA was a play written, geared towards teenagers. Now, it wasn't my favourite production, but I did quite enjoy it as well. We had Maisie Lee, a professional director, come up from the Lear Academy, which, those of you who don't know theatre, the Lear is huge. The Lear would be like a manager coming over from Arsenal to coach a team in our local town. It was that big for us. It was a weird play because it was, like, I suppose if you could actually look at the way it was written, it was all over the place. Absolutely just awful. It was awfully written. Really badly written. But what we did with it, because it was a one-act play, so I played a part. We were all, essentially the whole premise of it, we were all bullies, and one of our friends, quote unquote, was after dying because of how we were bullying him. He doesn't commit suicide, or we don't kill him. Essentially, we force him up onto what is a grill. Again, don't know what a grill is. We never managed to figure that out. A grill up on a bridge, if someone knows what that is. Yeah. So a grill on a bridge, and then we start throwing stones at him, and he slips off the grill and falls in. And that obviously would be a harrowing experience for anyone. Like any child, let alone like any teenager, let alone adult or anything. So the whole play is based on these lads trying to cover it up, and what they do, and all the twists and turns that go with that. I only really appear in the first act. I have a big part in the first act, but I'm only really in the first act, where I'm kind of top dog. I'm top dog in this group. And then it all kind of falls apart because we try and cover it up, and we end up being guilt-ridden, and yeah, it's very, very... It's just... It's a horrible, horrible thing to happen, but I really enjoyed it now because I got to play something that was different to me, where I was just playing this complete arsehole who was literally just... He was threatening, like, girls, like 17-year-olds, like our age, like they were in his peer group, and he literally squares up to one of them and stares her down and just threatens her. He said, "Say that again and see what happens." And it was just horrible, but a great play. Tom Petty has died age 66, so that's a really sad bit of news, I suppose. Well, I suppose it is sad, obviously. yeah, I don't know where I was kind of going with this idea. I just said I'll sit down and talk, and well, now we're 30 minutes later, and I've talked, and I'm probably going to delete this, and it's never going to go anywhere. But I did actually enjoy. Sort of. It was a weird experience. I'd rather do this with more than one person. I'll probably bring in the aforementioned Adam Farrell, and we'll talk crap probably. But I suppose that's it. Thanks for listening. If this ever gets anywhere, um, yeah, no, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. Thanks for listening. If you did, hopefully there'll be more. I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna run this, but hopefully there'll be more. I suppose we'll just have to wait and find out. Anyway, thanks, lads. Talk to you later.